All right. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm slowly stepping back in here onto this space after my winter reset. I wanted to say hello, hello. It has been, it's been a great reset. Honestly, I really enjoyed the time away. Not only for my business, I love the work I do. I'm so passionate about it. And on the other side of that, it is, very demanding with your energy and your time and your thoughts and your mental load. And I do a lot of my business online on social media. And it was nice to have a break just to decompress my nervous system and to just take things slower. So I'm saying I'm slowly coming back on here because it does feel that feels so much better in my system to address my work and address my mission in a different sense than I have before. And I know I've talked a lot about uh, navigating my business and my soul mission from a place of joy and a place of sustainability. And this is the next iteration, is to really be intentional with where I spend my time in my soul mission and on my business. Are the tasks I'm actually doing getting me anywhere to my goals, or am I doing these things because I feel like I have to? And so for me, as I'm coming back online, coming back into this space, I wanted to share that piece of me with you guys so that you can have some context about the way that I'm going to be navigating this show, the way I'm going to be navigating my booking, and the way I'm going to be navigating my marketing. And I want to feel more spaciousness in my life so that I can ultimately come to these places and to the spaces with my clients and my students more resourced, more energy, more heart, more soul. And that brings me to a conversation that I had today with a private client that I felt really important to share. So, one of the things that we talked about in this session with one of my clients and students was this element of coming to relationships from a space of being detached from who you truly want to be, right? If we want to come to our relationships or our family or our mission, our business, our life in general from a place of being our highest self, we cannot keep putting ourselves first or last. We need to start putting ourselves first, especially when it comes to that morning time. We have to have some time in the morning to connect to our true self and our true essence. Because in the context of the conversation that we were having, that this person was seeking support with, was um, having a hard time navigating conversations when they're feeling like their old self is like having the microphone, is leading the show. And this brought me back to, like, where are you in that moment? Are you aware that you're not connected into your highest self? Are you aware of the parts that are coming online when you're having these arguments or these experiences that are less than great when it comes to your people that are you close to in your life? And that brought us to a conversation about the further away we are from our true self, we're not going to be able to come into these places if we're not taking time to connect into that true part of yourself, right? We can't walk into relationships or family or our work as our best self when we're carrying our anger, we're carrying resentment in our hearts, right? If we're so far away from our true essence, I like to call it our true self because I identify with that terminology rather than highest self. But I say that so you guys understand what I mean. From this true self, our true essence, our self, capital S, is what they call in IFS work. If when we do all of our rituals, our practices, our healing modalities, these things take us to being connected in and tapped into that true self, that highest self. But the more that we get away from doing those practices, it's like the further and further and further we are, and we can't even pretend to try to come into these areas, other areas of our lives from the best version of ourselves if we're not actually tapped in or tuned into that. So when we push through, our morning, it's really busy and we're not putting ourselves first. Like, I am a whole different person when I come and sit at my altar. I just carve out a time in my day rather than like saying, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to journal, I'm going to da 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 da. Right? I carve out a time in my morning and tap in and tune into what I really want. What does Boston need in this moment, and go from there. I do have daily practices like meditation that I want to do every day. But if I get to my altar and I want to beat on my drum and start chanting and singing, I'm going to allow myself that space to do that. So what I'm saying though is I'm a totally different person than when I have time to sit there and connect into my heart, connect into my core of who I am, than when I don't do those things. And so whatever brings your soul alive and brings you closest to your truest essence, those practices, those modalities, like they're there for a reason. And I think it's easy, especially the further along you get in your spiritual path, your spiritual maturing path, to forget those core basic things. And so then we're like, why am I revisiting? Like, for instance, I used to be a really angry person. And if I don't do these practices, I don't work with these modalities, and all of a sudden I am irritable and I'm flipping off the seat of a dime, or oh my gosh, that was totally off of phrase. I'm just totally flipping into anger really, really fast. That anger is activated really, really fast. Then I know it's like a red flag. Okay, like how long has it been? Because if I want to come to my marriage from the highest possible version of myself that I can be, but I'm not actually tending to being that, then it's hard to even expect myself to come into those places. So it's like a red flag for me, like, oh, I need to get back in tune into who I am. And, if we have busy mornings, it pushing through might look more productive, but it really creates this disconnection in our lives from who we say we want to be and who we really are being, right? We are exhausted. We are so much overstimulation in our lives, right? And when our needs go unmet, the body really does keep the score. Our nervous system, our muscles are tightening. Our brain is reinforcing neural pathways of, oh, this is how our mornings are going to be. If we just keep constantly skipping these practices and rituals that bring us back to who we really are in our heart and our soul. So we don't want that tension, right? We don't want the burnout. We don't want that emotional distance or that lack of presence. And we can't keep kidding ourselves. We have to come back. We have to put ourselves first. It's not selfish, right? And we probably know that by now. Like, I know that by now, but it's literally how we regulate everything, regulate our emotions, regulate our energy, regulate our nervous systems, right? Mind, body, spirit, by doing these practices. And so we have to start putting ourselves first before our schedule. I know our calendars are so busy. I totally get that. But as I had this time to just slow down and really identify who do I really want to be, right? This is the time, this is the time of the year we're planning, we're starting to beginning to think about what plant or seeds do we want to plant, and who do we really want to be? What are the practices that we want to instill? And these tiny decisions are what build our life. If we want to feel more grounded and connected and spiritual, but we're not taking time to sit there and play our drum or connect to these rituals like putting your feet in the earth. I like also have another ritual where I put my hands in water that I've put sea salt in, and I put my hands in it in the mornings, and it helps to remind me of my ancestors who are Celtic and Scottish, and they have that connection with that ocean. And so I put my hands in there and I connect to the water, and I just feel like I remember and I imagine myself back in my homeland, my ancestors' homeland. And these practices, these experiences, they build me into the person I want to be. But I can't sit here and say, oh, I'm spiritual. Oh, I am earth-based wisdom practitioner. I'm not actually practicing anything and just going through all this busy life. So it was a nice reminder for these last few weeks for me personally to re-cement what I want to do, what practices do I want to implement in my life, who do I want to be, and show up for that. Like there is a level of self-discipline, but it gets to be fun. It gets to be exciting. Our life is meant to also be lived and enjoyed. This has gone on way longer than I planned this message to. I was just popping in to say hello. We're getting back on track with our show, but this is channeling spirits here. This is how we become stewards, energy stewardship, energy stewards. This is true stewardship of our life. And you are allowed to put yourself first. In fact, if you don't, what kind of life are you going to build for yourself? So put in the comments wherever you're listening to this, let me know what makes you feel alive. What brings you back to your soul essence, your true soul essence. And from there, making a commitment to show up to these practices, even if it's just once a week. But I invite you to probably need more than just once a week, at least 3 times a week, so that you can feel an integrity with the person that you say you are, as well as you're really stepping into your life that feels more fulfilling and feels more joyful, so that you can turn around and serve others. So I bless you. Gentle reminder today to just check in with yourself, see what your energy levels are at, and how far away are you from your true essence right now. That's a good check-in activity that you could do. This is something that I do a lot with my clients and my students. Self check-ins throughout the day. Maybe do 3 alarms, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. How close do you feel to your true essence right now? And just let this be a habit that you start building, because once you have the awareness, then you can do something about it. So I bless you. I'm really excited for all the things that I have going on that you guys are going to be seeing soon. I'm so excited about all these things are channeled through, especially on this little winter reset that I had. If you ever feel uninspired in your mission or in your business, just take a couple weeks off, and then you'll have all these ideas float through, especially when you get to a space finally where your nervous system can rest, and then you just become a vessel to receive. But it's hard to receive messages or intuitive downloads when you're just go, 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 go all the time. So that was my invitation for this upcoming season, is to slow down. Even with how I talk, I can get really excited and passionate, and then I start like talking really fast. My words per minute's like super fast. I start mumbling, slurring on my words. And so it's just a good reminder to even myself, slow down, put yourself first, enjoy your life and the things that fill you up. Because when you are on your deathbed, the end of your life, are you going to wish you would have done more ritual? Things that felt more important to you? I'm going to guess you probably will. So, bless your lives. I trust that this served you. And until next time, go out there and share your light with the world. Namaste.